What's up? It's Susie from Hey Grill Hey, and I'm back with another recipe for a beautiful steakhouse style cut. Today we are doing a reverse sear on a T-bone steak with a beautiful garlic and thyme basting butter finish. It is fabulous. Let's get started. Now this beautiful T-bone right here is about 20 ounces, and there is some confusion in the world of grilling, especially if you're newer to picking out big cuts of meat like this from the butcher counter, on the difference between a T-bone and a porterhouse steak. Technically, they are the same cut, but what makes a porterhouse and a T-bone is the size of this little steak right here. Now, both a T-bone and a porterhouse are made up of two steaks, the New York strip, which is this long piece right here, and the fillet or the tenderloin. For a porterhouse to be considered a porterhouse, this fillet portion has to be at least 1 1/4 inches. On a T-bone, it's usually the smaller portion. So porterhouse, you'll typically get large pieces of both cuts. On a T-bone, you get a really nice New York strip and a much smaller portion of fillet. However, on this specific T-bone, they were really generous with how large this fillet section is, and that's generally how I pick them out when I'm buying them from the grocery store. I look for as big of a fillet section as I can find. Another thing that I look for when I'm picking out kind of a steakhouse style cut like this is the fat marbling. See how beautifully white and flecked this New York strip is? Fat is flavor when it comes to a steakhouse style steak. So more flecks of fat, more delicious flavor in your finished product. Now this process is really simple because the steak is the star and we don't want to do anything to overwhelm it. So we're going to season simply. I've got my beef rub seasoning. Salt and pepper is a really great base and an amazing place to start. One thing that I am going to tell you as you season, especially if you're new to cooking in your backyard, is don't be afraid of seasoning. I feel like a lot of people start cooking steaks or food on the grill at home and they wonder why it doesn't turn out as good as it does at a steakhouse or as flavorful as it does at a steakhouse. And most commonly that comes from home cooks under seasoning their food. So put on what you normally would and then maybe go just a touch heavier. We are gonna lose a little bit of this seasoning when it hits the grill. We're gonna lose a little bit of this seasoning when we do the final sear in the pan. So start with what you would normally put on and then maybe just do one light additional layer to make sure that you get all the flavor in there that you really want. Steak looks great. It's time to get it onto the grill. I have my grill set up for 2-zone cooking, which means I have high heat on one side, no heat on the other side. The steak is going to go on the indirect heat side of the grill. Close the lid, create a little bit of a convection oven in the grill, and bring the steak's temperature up nice and slow. It's usually on the indirect heat side of the grill for about 20 to 30 minutes. The key here is to take your steak off the grill before you hit your target finish temperature. So if you're somebody that likes a rare steak, about 125, you would pull your steak off the grill when it hits 115. I'm gonna be shooting for a rare steak today, so that's my target internal temperature. This first step usually takes between 20 and 30 minutes. My steak is clocking about 110, which is right where I want it, because again, I want this steak to be a little bit closer to rare. That's where I like my fillets and my strips. So we're gonna pull this off and let it rest while I get my cast iron skillet preheated. Because we're doing a reverse sear, that means a low temperature start, a high temperature finish. And I wanna do that high temperature finish in a cast iron skillet. So I'm gonna add some avocado oil to the bottom of my cast iron skillet, just a few tablespoons. I wanna kind of coat the bottom evenly. And once that starts to ripple and shimmer, I'm gonna add my steak back into the skillet. To serve up this beautiful ribeye, I'm actually gonna cut it off of the bone and then arrange it on my platter. So I'm gonna take my strip right along that bone in the middle. I'm gonna take off my fillet. I like to serve it with the bone because I think it's a really beautiful presentation. So we'll just shingle this strip into little bite-sized pieces. All right, now you've got your fried thyme. What I like to do is actually strip the leaves off and kind of sprinkle them onto the steak itself. You can chop the garlic if you want that roasted garlic chopped on there. I actually just like to leave it whole because I think the roasted garlic is sweet and really lovely. So I'll just take a couple pieces and eat it with my steak. But you can chop that up as well. I'm just gonna drizzle this steak with a little bit of that nutty, browned, herby garlic butter. And we are ready to rock and roll. This is one of my favorite ways to cook up a steakhouse style steak. Plus, a steak like this, I feel like with this many ounces, this is a good 2-person steak. So you definitely get your money's worth. And if you have somebody that loves a filet and you love a New York strip, a T-bone is the steak for you. I'm gonna grab a bite of this beautiful New York strip. I would love to hear your favorite steak cut in the comments section below. And of course, as always, let me know if you try this recipe out at home. We'll see you next time. That was a really solid steak right there.